Hi, and welcome to another edition of Rabbi K's Cuts, visual blasts of wisdom on the weekly Torah portion. This week's Parsha Vayishlach begins with a very dramatic encounter between Yaakov, Jacob, and Esav. Esav, his brother, is pursuing Yaakov, trying perhaps to kill him, hunting him down with 400 men after Yaakov has fled, having in Esav's eyes, stolen his birthright. Well, they have a very, very interesting exchange. They're describing what they've acquired, what they have, ostensibly in a material sense. And Esav utters the words, Yeshli Rav, I have a lot. Yaakov responds, Yeshli Kol, I have all. Their divergent responses, their divergent statements are very telling. Esav was a person driven purely by materialism. He could never bring himself to acknowledge that he had all. He had an abundance. He had a quantity, and he wanted to boast of that quantity. But that quantity always left for something more. Yaakov, on the other hand, did not define himself by his material possessions. He was able to connect to something greater. He was plugged into a higher source. And as such, he felt, Yeshli Kol, I have all, because the quality of my relationships are complete. There's a great story with Baron de Rothschild, the business tycoon of the Jewish world in Europe over the last several hundred years, really. A king once approached him and asked him, what is your worth? And Rothschild answered 50 million drachmans, or whatever the particular denomination was at that time. The king was suspicious that, in fact, Rothschild was worth more than that. And upon investigation, it came out that, in fact, he was worth about 10 times more than he had acknowledged. And the king confronted Rothschild and asked the baron, why did you underestimate your value? Why did you state a lower amount? And Rothschild said, you don't understand. You asked me what I'm worth. And I told you I'm worth 50 million. 50 million is 1/10, 10% of my value. And that is the amount that I give to charity. My worth is reflected in the spiritual acts that I utilize my money for. It's the quality of my relationships. It's the quality of how I use my material possessions that truly defines my worth, my value. This was Yaakov. Yaakov, the Ishtam Yoshevo Alim, the simple, pure-hearted person, a man of Torah, a man who harmonized the beautiful qualities of his forefathers, Abraham and Isaac. He was a person who understood that true value came not from material possessions, but from how those material possessions were utilized for something greater. Therefore, he said, Yeshli Kol, I have all. The quality of my relationships, the quality of what I utilize my material wealth for, is what gives me a sense of completion. Yaakov, the Ishtam, the man of perfection, the man of completion. Esav, the materialist, was a man of abundance, but that abundance would always leave something lacking, would always be wanting, because he could never achieve the completion, the shleimus, the perfection that the spiritually minded Yaakov could achieve. May we all have the ability to focus not on the material, but on how the material can bring to a higher consciousness, can bring to a higher spiritual connection. And in that sense, may we all feel Yeshli Kol, I have it all. Shabbat Shalom.